have much comments coming in for any one of these drafts. There are good counters and of course good answers to every single question that would pose to them.
The crowd going wild here. Let's go Slate and let's go RSG here. The crowd is going wild. Everyone is cheering for their favorite team.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're back into the land of dawn.
5 seconds.
Battered, bloodied place. Both these two teams battle the hard out. Blood, sweat, and tears literally on this battlefield.
Welcome
And
to
the Slate and
Mobile
RSG
Legend.
find themselves equal at this point.
2-2 is the current scoreline between RSG and Slate. And now it all depends on who will reach match point first. Who's going to be the team that will start receiving all of that pressure of when they lose, that is game over. This game is ultimately going to be super damn important. For now, let us take a look at all of the laning stages. And what?
Here on the Paquito jungle.
Oh!
All right, let's blink a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at the players. I know Abstract is a little bit lagging a little bit because of the...
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also quite surprised as well when I saw that. But yeah, take us through on this team composition coming out from Slate.
Okay, pretty interesting. Now, for what we're going to be looking at here is the fact that Slate in the EXP lane is going to be a Cho fighting against an Esmeralda. Understandably, Esmeralda will be able to proxy every single one of these lanes and will be able to come in to go for fights as much as possible. This way, Lunox will not be able to reach much of a power spike in the early stages, and they will have a problem when it comes down to an all-out battle in terms of AoE. Bottom lane-wise, it is going to be the gold laners. It is Melissa fighting against Claude, and that exactly is probably going to be something that we should start to pop up and see. But here, he is very much on the ball, as we do have JPL that gave all the information that 3 of them are roaming down to the bottom side. Gear escaping out of that before things start to get a little bit tight.
And not only just Gear, right? FMN played back a little bit safely, but RSG, you know, they're not going to pull that trigger on the bottom side because Turtle will be spawning right now. Both these two teams looking to get that as an early game lead. I think our Bray with the Retribution and the label counter is something that, you know, RSG does have an advantage for this neutral objective.
It's really tough for Bray to use this turtle,
Unless this happens, JPL ejected Bray right into the first blood of Slate, and Gear picks up the turtle at the same time. Adamir kicks Wildfire right into the front line, but no one will be able to follow up, but Slate takes deals the damage.
When you can't fight against the ballman in terms of the objective, all you gotta do is just bring him down instead.
Oh no, it is not only just that. Diablo will be able to revenge that as well. But ladies and gentlemen, RSG and Slate are not going to give it up.
Eventually, now 1:1 is going to be the scoreline at this point in time. And both teams, they are pretty much neck and neck, except for the fact that Slate, right now, they are doing a pretty decent job because they are about 700 gold ahead of the scoreline. But, you know, we're still talking about 3 minutes into the game. The first turtle, it did manage to credit over to Slate. All in all, the team fight is going to be important.
Yeah, and Final Fight with better airstrike should be able to deal JPL. It's up to Slate to try to revenge that. No value at all. RSG takes 1 for free.
Not quite free if you ask me, but all in all, still worked out pretty darn well. All of these players, especially in the middle lane, is where most of the action we are going to be expecting. Baby Cake decided to actually go for an ultimate onto the proxy lane, so that way he will be able to go back home and then come back in again for a full health. But recall has been stopped. I don't think he realized that until now. So it's going to be slight bit late when it comes down to the next stages of the waves, but one thing that I do want to say is that RSG is playing in a very defensive positioning. They're not exactly as aggressive as I had originally hoped for, but Slate, it makes sense. Because we do have Jawhead that is a very aggressive player, but hold on a second, I'm offended.
Fender goes all the way in, Feder airstrike to follow suit. Sailor will be able to find Wildfire the backline, flick forward just to deal the damage, and Sailor takes Wildfire down to the ground.
Lunox making big plays here, right? Currently 2 kills in the game. Once you reach level 4 as a Lunox, you can expect that the power of the Chaos Darkening will give a lot of damage.
Losey gets Hoss right on in. Gear is already here to receive the damage and also push out the damage on top of Losey. Diablo coming all the way. Gear is a little bit dangerous. Sailor zones. Baby Cakes away as Gear will be able to walk on away. Diablo now getting chased by multiple members of Slate as Gear will be able to fight for another day.
No problem, because Diablo still has has got the sprint. He did manage to drag every
but
single one of
strike
the
goes.
members.
Oh my goodness, that's
Upgrade.
why you pay attention when you're trying to back off, because Firefly will sneak up on you with the feather airstrike, and with that, no red tree, while RSG takes the second turtle.
Large radius is what I'm talking about. You gotta have to respect the Fasa. All in, sorry, excuse me. All in all, when it comes down to RSG's lineup, they have great high ground all across the places, and you gotta have to be really careful whenever you put yourself into the brushes too.
That puts RSG in the lead in terms of that goal, but not only just that, they also take down the first turret at the bottom side. Now, Slate picking up the scraps. They're doing so well in the early game, but RSG, they managed to grab it all the way back.
Slate, they would want to play in a pick-off fashion. Whatever they do, they would want to single out one person at a time. JPL's kid will be able to get himself right into the enemy's lines, be it the front line or the back line with his unstoppable force, and of course the ejector or to bring one person out. You probably would want to reserve it for 505, but it shouldn't be too big a problem because Adamir can actually offer himself to do that job anyways. So, whatever they do, killing one person is important. Be it Diablo, or Bray, or Lolsey, they are all going to be great addition to the team. But they gotta have to be careful. If they would want to go for Lolsey, they need to burn him down as fast as possible. And the question will always be is if whether Sailor can burst him down. If Gear joins in, sure, no problem. I don't think that it will have a problem with that.
Yeah, and now Slate, you know, there's a lane swap happening. Baby Cakes will be focusing on the bottom side, whereas FMM focusing up the top. Turtle will be spawning there instead, so Slate needs to try to find a bit of a top lane priority, but RSG, they've already clamped down, say, nope, this is my turtle, get out.
Both of these teams, they are still pretty much neck and neck, but RSG, they do have a bit of goal advantage when, and of course their economy is looking pretty well. JPL is not too willing in jumping in, but all he can do is unstoppable force.
Lolsey gets tossed all the way back. Firefly lands on the perfect feather all strike. But at the same time, Slate will be able to pick up Lolsey for free, and now with the feather airstrike gone, RSG, they don't really have any turtle priority, especially without Ray's Lethal counter.
The power of the martial artists coming in from Slate with the boxer as well as the Kung Fu guy, okay? They are just going to have massive amount of momentum as well as movement.
Bray does have the ultimate.
Move in, of course, even with JPL, they could make things even scarier.
Oh,
JPL,
the kick.
Bring around the Rosie.
Bring around the Rosie at the same time. Gear will pick up the turtle as well. It is JPL, it's Adamir that kicks the Bray away. Lolsey trying to drag Sailor right back into the fight, but no one from the side of RSG wants to fight at all.
RSG, I think that they are looking too much into the perfect team fight most of the time, right?
Yeah.
They are relying a lot onto Lolsey, and understandably so, because Lolsey is one of the only few people that have got a very pivotal ultimate, or perhaps his own presence itself is going to be crowd control. Comeback Whooping as well as I'm Offended allows Lolsey to be able to hold anyone down onto the ground as much as possible, and that's when RSG is able to unleash all hell within. Buying time for Baby Case to eventually ramp up in speed just for the art of thievery will eventually be the name of the game, but for the early start, 505, very important.
Oh, JPL once again takes it into the sky and in the bad form away. The kick will allow FMM to make sure to secure that kill. RG will lose Lolsey once again.
505's damage seems to be a bit of a lackluster. The amount of items that he have is not quite there yet. As such, his damage onto Adamir just kind of seems a little bit absent. Because usually by this point in time, we would be able to expect the mages to have a great amount of burst potential, especially for such a consequential ultimate. But for now, JPL, he did try to go for the concealed play around the Bray. Bray immediately gets himself out, and Adamir overextends himself a little bit right in between a 505 and Bray. I don't see himself getting himself out of there.
I don't think so, but...
Oh, wait!
Whoa! But he's already dead. The knockup as well. Adamir sets it all the way up as one little pixel of help. RSG did burn the feather airstrike just a little bit too fast.
Wait, indeed. Adamir, he juked everyone else out, and now RSG has lost the biggest prey that they gotta have to look out for. In the meantime, we do have Paquito just eventually just trying to push their advantage down the Baby Case, down to the bottom lanes. RSG have lost a lot of time.
Dude, we signed off the death certificate of Adamir just a little bit tad early. But the fortunate thing, Gear is in the vicinity.
They were just waiting. It was really more about
calculated.
very much calculated. We thought that, yeah, you know what, Adamir, he went too deep in, but you know what, this is all just a bait. They were just waiting for the perfect time. In the meantime, Sailor, the power of the Chaos Darkening will be popped right on top of Diablo, but he has wasted it all. He doesn't manage to burst Diablo down just yet.
JPL takes so much damage right now. Brave would be the one to secure that kill. At the same time, it's going to be Logi that would be the fall. Adamir will become great all the way back. FMM goes in for the triple kill at the same time. And now there's going to be an onslaught coming up from Slate around the lobby, and Gear survives once again.
The amount of people just at a sliver of health from side of Slate is just way too much. At first it was Adamir, now Gear and Sailor. They have managed to hold their own so well. It could have been such a valuable trade in favor for RSG, but Slate, such elusive, agile heroes, and they're so darn slippery as they managed to oil themselves out of the grasp of RSG.
Yeah, the fish super slippery. You thought you have the fish in the barrel, but the fish slipped all the way out of the barrel and bites at you at the form of the Lord.
On a tear, Slate Esports is, and now they are constantly going to be putting up a momentum on top of RSG. The Lord is going to be recruited by the hands of Slate, and the Lord will be marching in the northern side of the map. All bottom lane and middle lane, first tier turret, understandably, will go down.
Yeah, but then again, RSG has done a lot of structural damage. So this could be something where RSG could be playing around with. But even though RSG was the one to secure most of these turrets, it doesn't feel like RSG has a grasp of the game. You know, it's just all these slippery heroes. It's just making it so tough for RSG to catch anyone.
The itemizations coming in from Slate are very darn scary, right? Yeah, Lunox, surprisingly, only have 2 items, right? The Clock Wisdom as well as the Genius Wand. Well, for RSG's Mage, we're looking at Fasa. I mean, well, Lightning Truncheon as well as the Clock Wisdom. It doesn't seem like there's much of a difference, but it's pretty much all the MM game. But hold on a second, way of the Dragon!
Oh, that's not where you want to be. It's the way of the Dragon secures Bray's head on the top side. He's just trying to clear the wave.
He's trying to clear the Lord. Which technically he did manage to, but at the cost of his own life. Now,
at all.
The second tier turret, the outer turret, or rather the inner turret, has been destroyed, and Slate, they will keep themselves at home in the upper quadrants of RSG's jungle. Yeah. This is definitely not going to be a comfortable spot for RSG. If they really do want to space things out, and if they do want to open up the map, Lawsy gotta have to make a chance. He gotta have to make a decision. Do he want to move to the top side or to the bottom side? Because we are going to be expecting Doom wherever they go.
Yeah, but RSG does have the high ground, right? So Firefly, it's up to how he uses the Feather Ash, right? Not only just to clear the way, but to zone members of Slate away. But also, RSG right now have to play a little passively. Lozy just needs to try to find that perfect flicker, and then, you know, we crumple on top of Slate. That is their game plan. However, look at Slate's lineup. It's super elusive, and it's really hard to really lock someone down.
It's a very mobile-oriented draft, right? We have seen something like this before, whenever a team is trying to catch onto a composition like Slate, they just loses all of the value and all of the ultimate that they have used, all of the time and resources they have used onto this one person, only for him to slip away. Yeah, and in the very event that they are sustainable, he's going to come back in.
Yeah, and the worst part is you allow this cockroach to run away, and then it starts coming at you flying. And then after that, you know, you invested so much, and that's where Slate fights back. Now, looking at the goalies, very comfortable on the side of Slate. RSG needs to try to find some time. Oh no, it is going to be Lozy that gets tossed once again, the magic man. But maybe he gets got me with the blazing to win. He's able to turn this around and win Adamir. But Adamir all the way in the back line. He's not going to be able to survive for long. He takes punches around. But Bray, it's going to be a massacre on the side of Slate. They're losing bodies and losing men. Diablo will be going in for the re-engage. But here, he comes in to save the day. And this is going to be maybe gets to go all the way down here. Punches RSG down to the ground.
And now, because of the fact that RSG has lost 4 members, Diablo's only play is to make all the way to the top side and take some value for themselves, while the rest of the members from Slate will immediately melt down the Lord. It's not going to be a difficult thing. Why? Because they have a Lunox.
Everything is going so well for RSG for the past 2-3 games, but then all of a sudden, you know, Slate just got into that mojo, and then, you know, they turned it around. I think RSG, that was a very wonderful execution. It could have went all the way back in, but Gear came in at the right amount of time, at the best time ever, and then just turned the fight around.
Now the Lord once again recruited by the hands of Slate. RSG couldn't do anything but just
High ground.
watch. They have high ground, yes, but they're gonna have to be careful because this is an elusive Slate. They have all the mobility that they want, and if RSG were to make a single wrong movement, they may all have been wiped out before they even have a chance to distract this Lord, to defend against this Lord.
Come before the storm, the siege minion will be cleared out. Lord will charge on the bottom, on the top side. Gray desperately trying to clear a spinning wind. RSG is looting structures. Slate slowly encroaching. RSG desperately trying to defend, but not enough. Not enough defense on the top side.
Game's very much on a standstill. Slate doesn't have any minions for now.
Just nothing. Can't do anything. They can't get out of the base.
No more mega creeps as well. Let's just remember that.
Yep.
The middle lane turret is down to less than 50% health. RSG have got the high ground.
Yeah, the Conceal play going in. Looking for
Well, he has a
right
conceal
here.
play himself.
Yeah, pocket both in time. But nothing is being done for now. RSG, they're trying to defend. Slate will just let it go for now.
Back to a stalemate.
Yeah, you're gonna go wait for that 70 seconds clock on that Lord.
The single Lord only made one play, and that is to destroy the
That's good
inhibitor
enough.
turret in the top lane.
That's a weak point for the side of RSG. They
A
need to
small
stem.
little weak point.
They need to stem. They need to duct tape that wound.
If Slate is gonna be able to get another Lord and take another one of those turrets at the bottom lane and only just one turret, it may eventually put RSG on a pretty good spot for a later skill of the game.
Yeah, RSG though, if you give them time, look at Dikasih starting to secure Malefic Raw.
This is a power spike.
Yeah,
again.
that's another power spike, right? That means that the Claw blazing towards is starting to do a little bit more damage, but RSG, Fire as well. That nuke, that Feather Airstrike will nuke and it will hurt. Slate needs to start to pay some respect.
20 seconds until the next Lord spawns.
It's nothing to be done on the map. Both these two, look at how Slate. There's so much vision, so much avenue for Slate to work around.
Every single one of them is very cautious, ranging from RSG side to Slate side. Slate is ultimately going to be the one that wants to be the aggressor, and
Diablo.
RSG is the one that wants to be defensive.
Diablo on the top side, he's really pushing away heat.
Things that we typically see whenever he's going to be onto the Esmeralda.
That's correct.
But now that Esmeralda is not around, they don't necessarily have someone that will be able to open the map that well, because long see, whenever he opens up the map, he gotta have to commit.
But it's Gear on the top side instead. It's not Adam that meets it. So this means that RSG, that window of opportunity to take the Lord is right there, but it's slowly closing because Gear is slowly making its way down. Can you play JPL looking for some injector? Looking someone to pick up the flicker when they activate. That is going to be Gray. It gets stole all the way into a no man's land. This is not exactly what Gray wants to go. And Babycase come in with the blazing away, but the wind of nature for the side of MMM will be able to sustain himself. The Lord got to HP at the same time, and Diablo, he will not be able to do anything at all in the backline, but it's going to be Diablo that kick it all the way up. The Lord got to HP. There's Slate. These are trying to take him, but no, Diablo will not be able to reach the Lord as well. Star SG will not be able to secure the Lord. Slate on a roll right here. It's just Baby Cakes in the base right now. What can RSG do to defend this? The Baby Cakes coming in from the backline, but the core is going to get destroyed. And Slate takes game number 5.
It's a statement that that Slate has got for themselves. They showed how it